Hello everyone, my name's Andrea, and today we're going to be reviewing artwork from Frida Kahlo and Eduardo Kobra. The artwork that we are going to be analyzing is Self-Portrait Along the Borderline Between Mexico and the United States by Frida Kahlo and Sailor's Kiss by Eduardo Kobra. Let's define art first. Art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form, such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power, according to dictionary.com. Frida Kahlo's style is surrealism, painted in canvases, while Eduardo Cobra's style is street art, painted in murals. Although these two works of art are completely different in terms of style, they have a deep emotional connection and a great amount of creativity and power in their art. Frida Kahlo was born on July 6, 1907 and died on July 13, 1954. She was involved in a bus accident that changed her life, leading her to paint as a relief. She painted in canvases using oil paint. A surrealism, Andrew Brenton considered Frida Kahlo a surrealistic, a label she rejected, saying she just painted her reality, according to an article by Caitlin Beaver. The self-portrait along the borderline between Mexico and the United States was painted in 1932 by Frida Kahlo. She was only 3 when the Mexican Revolution started in 1910 and lived in the United States while the Great Depression was going on. According to the Frida Kahlo book Face to Face by Judy Chicago, she lived during a very political times and strived to be different. It is said that to challenge the viewer's notion of gender, Frida Kahlo would dress as a boy in a shirt, tie, and 3-piece suits, but would also wear colorful dresses as well. She painted her pain, worries, and struggles away. It is what made her different. This painting in particular is very controversial. She's expressing her relationships with both countries. The United States side is industrialized, while Mexico's side is more about the culture. The time she was in the United States was a great learning experience and a great opportunity to make connections. Frida became more successful, but her heart belonged to Mexico. She wasn't happy. People that live in a country with few opportunities can relate with her and look for better opportunities, even if that means leaving her loved ones. Few artists back then had the courage to paint such feelings because of the level of controversy. She paints her reality regardless of what anyone has to say, and that motivates artists to do the same. Frida Kahlo was also a very iconic female figure. She motivated women to speak up and express themselves, something that females back then feared. The director of the Frida Kahlo Museum, Hilda Trujillo, stated, "Frida did what she wanted. She was brave in a very conservative society. Young women today identify with Frida. They find strength in her, and they identify with that strength." This characteristic of Frida is something that was very rare and in that time seen very admirable, even today. She changed the way the world looked at women and encouraged other women to do the same. Eduardo Cobra's story is a little bit different. He was born on January 1st, 1976. He was born in a low-income neighborhood located in the suburbs of São Paulo, Brazil. Eduardo Kobra discovered his passion for street art in his early years. He took advantage of his characteristics as a curious artist, good designer, and proficient realistic painter, and developed a way to transfer visual appearances of the urban art through art. He did this by bringing back the memories of the city and adding his colorful touch to them. His work is a combination of various techniques, including a mix of brushes, airbrushes, and aerosol cans, according to the article of Chicago Tribune. The artist spent a lot of time in museums and libraries, exploring the city's history before starting to create a new piece. After he gets an impression of the history of the location he chose for the painting, he begins working on it and creating images pulled from the vintage photographs that evoked a sense of memory to the people living there and the visitors that were passing by. The Sailor's Kiss, painted in 2012 at the High Line in New York, is a full-color image rereading made by American photojournalist Alfred Einstein, taken on August 3, 1945, when people took the streets to celebrate the end of World War II. It is said that the soldier came home and found a nurse in the streets and kissed her from his excitement to be home without knowing her. The name of the soldier is unknown till this day. They have interviewed the nurse, however, and confirmed she did not know him, but the kiss was not forced. She explained it felt natural, as if it was meant to be, according to the New York Post. Kobra took the black and white image and turned it into a colorful mural in downtown New York. People enjoyed his work because of the new meaning he gave to history. He turns the past into bright and colorful, making the memories come back to life, but in a different era. Eduardo Kobra motivates artists to see life in color, regardless of how black and white it may seem. He does murals with lots of color in places with a lot of pollution, making the environment a little bit happier, whereas people living there normally just pass by and are depressed because of how bad things are going. He creates these paintings to show them that they can look at the world in a positive and colorful way. Other than focusing on the bad, he focuses on the good. An unknown New York cliché blogger states, "The mural bursts with color. It captures the passion and exuberance of the sailor of a kiss. It made you smile. It brightened your day as much as it brightened the New York City streets. Looking at it, it was sunshine and rainbows. New York and love. It was wonderful." Frida Kahlo and Eduardo Kobra have very distinct styles of paintings, but they do share some things in common. They paint with their heart. Frida started painting her own pleasure as a form of expressing herself. In her case, she expressed her pain. Eduardo Kobra enjoyed street art as a young kid in a low-income home in Brazil and always wanted to brighten up the mood. In this case, he expressed himself through very bright colors. They both grew up in major cities with few opportunities and yet were able to reach the top. Kahlo and Kobra both started to paint without knowing they were going to be famous. They painted with color because they both knew what it was like to live life in black and white. They refused to keep looking at the world like that and therefore lighten up their day through their paintings.